I want to be just like y'all.
Nah, you're gonna be better than us, man.
Did you know the official Fallin video is a high-concept cinematic piece inspired by Ryan Coogler's Sinners, sharing a Southern Gothic. Hellfire Red and Midnight Blue supernatural DNA with vampire-like monsters versus the girl with black wings, and positioning its brotherhood protector outsider archetype as a spiritual fall, released on May 1st, 2026 as the lead-in to Chris Brown's album Brown, and structured to drop modern fame into the grit and soul of 1930s era R&B and blues through the opening van scene and the arrival at Raymond's Juke Joint, where the spiritual and narrative transition begins. Even in the opening shot with the vintage red car, the license plate references Tappahannock, Virginia, Chris Brown's actual hometown, implying that by placing that plate in 1952, his soul and music have been parked there for decades, long before he was actually born. Welcome to the deep dive, starting with the van scene, Brown and the Midnight Saints. While riding in the van, Chris Brown, Tank, leonthomas, and Rockstar are depicted as a traveling vocal group. The dialogue. Their conversation highlights the camaraderie of the Chitlin Circuit, the network of performance venues across the eastern, southern, and upper Midwest United States that provided commercial and cultural acceptance for African American musicians during Jim Crow. The visual context. The van itself symbolizes humble beginnings and the grind of R&B legends. It contrasts with the high-end vintage red car Chris is shown in earlier shots, suggesting a dreamlike or memory-based journey through his musical lineage. The girl with black wings. Symbolism of the dark angel. In the context of Fallin, the black wings represent a fallen angel or a dangerous love. She's a visual metaphor for a woman who is both divine and destructive, someone Chris is Fallin for despite the risk of heartbreak. Spiritual duality. The wings bridge the gap between the Midnight Saints, the group, and the sinners, the club patrons. She represents temptation that exists even inside a sacred space of music. The Ray-Ban detail. Some fans note she wears dark glasses, echoing the era's cool aesthetic and masking her true nature, making her enigmatic, someone Chris seems to be the only one who truly sees. Raymond's Juke Joint Hidden Meanings. The name Raymond. This is a direct tribute to Usher Raymond IV. In the video, Usher plays the proprietor-host of the club. By naming the joint Raymond's, Chris honors Usher as a foundational pillar and mentor in R&B. Usher's presence functions as a bridge to their real-world collaboration. The tour was officially announced on April 10, 2026, beginning June 26, 2026 in Denver, Colorado, and ending December 11, 2026 in Tampa, Florida, via a cinematic teaser where the two ride motorcycles to a stadium and Usher declares it's time. The Feel It philosophy. The juke joint setting reinforces the theme introduced by the young boy at the start. Music isn't just about singing, it's about making the audience feel the soul behind the notes. The performance at Raymond's Juke Joint is packed with Bling Can You'll Miss It, details that elevate it from a standard concert into a symbolic ritual of R&B history. The Midnight Saints stage presence. The unplugged visual. The microphones are period-accurate 1950s Shure 55 Unidyne models. This symbolizes truth. There are no modern digital effects, only raw, unfiltered vocal power. The Trinity formation, Chris, Leon, and Tank often form a tight triangle, representing three R&B pillars: the vocalist, the showman, and the soul foundation. The sweat aesthetic. As the performance progresses, the artists are visibly drenched in sweat. In 1950s juke joint culture, sweating for the music signaled spiritual labor and emotional honesty. Hidden symbolism and motifs. The mic stand as a cane. During specific footwork sequences, Chris uses the microphone stand not just for audio, but as a physical anchor, an explicit nod to James Brown and Jackie Wilson, symbolizing the weight of the legends he's carrying. The audience's hands. The crowd doesn't just clap, they reach toward the stage. It mirrors gospel tradition, where people catch the spirit from the performer, turning the nightclub into a sanctuary. Wardrobe and background details. The empty chair. A recurring shot shows an empty chair near the front, Some fans interpret it as a reserved seat for Michael Jackson, the ancestor of this stylistic lineage, watching over the performance. The satin jackets. The group wears matching tailored jackets with Midnight Saints on the back, referencing 50s doo-wop groups and representing brotherhood. A unified front against the demons referenced in the lyrics. Leon's guitar. Even when Leon isn't playing, his guitar remains visible in the background, representing the instrumental roots of the blues and reminding the viewer the music is handmade. The Fallin physicality. The knee drop. When the beat drops, Chris executes a dramatic knee drop. Symbolically, it represents submission. He's no longer the untouchable star, he's Fallin, humbled by the woman he saw outside. This final interaction is the video's emotional soul, serving as a bridge between the 1952 setting and Chris Brown's real-world Randy B legacy. It moves the story from performance into a message about the future. The camera, capturing the old soul. The kid asks for a photo using a period-accurate vintage camera. Symbolism of the snapshot. In 1952, a photograph was a rare, permanent record. By taking the photo, Chris cements the moment in history, ensuring the Midnight Saints aren't forgotten by the next generation. The transition. This scene shifts the video from the high of the performance back to the reality of the community outside Raymond's. It shows that while the group is famous inside the club, their true impact is on the street. The dialogue, "Be better than us." When the child says, "I want to be just like y'all," and Chris replies, "Nah, you gonna be better than us," it carries heavy subtext. The burden of the past. Chris Brown, Tank, and Leon have all had very public sinner moments and personal struggles. By urging the kid to be better, Chris acknowledges his own flaws and the damage the past did. It's a plea. Take the talent, leave the trouble behind. Evolution of Randy B. It's also a statement about the genre. Each generation of Randy B builds on the last. Chris isn't just asking for replication. He's saying the goal is to surpass the legends and evolve the art form. Breaking the cycle. In a 1950s setting, being better carries social progression too. Chris is telling a young black boy in the Jim Crow era that his future holds more potential and fewer limits than the men standing before him. The better than us philosophy. The phrase also functions as a recurring theme in Chris Brown's recent years, reflecting a shift toward mentorship. By embedding it in a video for his Brown era, the project positions itself as a blueprint for what comes next. The final shot, the Brown Times. The final shot reads like a vintage newspaper titled The Brown Times. Blending the video's fictional world with Chris Brown's real-world 2026 album rollout by symbolically framing the Brown era, dropping May 8th, 2026, and presenting the Midnight Saints as a cultural moment worth documenting. The photo becomes the receipt of greatness. It proves that even after Raymond's juke joint neon lights turn off, the impact remains, turning a temporary performance into a permanent legacy. If you're ready to join the Midnight Saints on the road to the Brown era, make sure to like this breakdown, comment your favorite hidden detail below, and subscribe for more deep dives into the legacy of Randy B. Don't miss a beat.